Killing Floor 2 wears its heart on its sleeve. A bold move considering there's no ace stuff up there. It's a fast, fun co-op shooter with cool classes, satisfying guns, and aggressive enemies, all doused in fitting heavy metal music. However, it's also an online shooter with only 2 modes, 2 boss battles, and some time sinks. It's not a buffet though, it's comfort food, and with that mindset clearly front and center, Killing Floor 2 delights with great gameplay. Killing Floor's 10 classes, awkwardly called perks, are distinct and fun to play, and your team composition is important. The first class to hook me was the Field Medic, which has extra armor, speed, and healing darts. It felt strong and useful, as did every class with enough time. One class is a demolitions expert with access to traps. Another spews fire and controls crowds. They all become fun and useful eventually, but not until level 5. This is when you unlock your first skill, which can take 2 to 3 hours. Combined with the fact that any class can use another class's weapon, it takes a while to feel like you matter. I'd say around level 10, which can take over 6 hours. That's simply too much time to potentially waste. You can level up classes you aren't even playing, but it's super slow. Once you do find a few classes you like, you can really dive into what Killing Floor is all about. Killing stuff with your friends, earning money, or dosh, buying better guns and armor between rounds, and doing it all over again. Killing Floor is great at replicating those moments in movies where everything is going very wrong for our heroes. Everything is frantic and on fire, and pulling through with your class abilities, limited weapons and ammo, and some good old-fashioned teamwork and yelling is incredibly fun. Thanks to Killing Floor's over-the-top sound and graphics, weapons are satisfying to use, and not just the big ones like the microwave gun. They're well-designed, loud, and have a huge impact on whatever they hit. Enemies blast apart and flail wildly. I'm not a big rock or metal music guy, but the music fits the action well, and firing off rounds to guitar riffs just works on a Doom cover art level. Despite the trigger-happy approach to combat, it becomes more tense and tactical the more you play. There's a constant friction between struggling to survive by spending your precious resources, or saving for the next tougher round. It's tempting to spend the first few rounds using only a pistol or melee weapons, though on higher difficulties you'll risk getting overwhelmed. Though Killing Floor's enemies aren't original, they work very well. There are bloated vomiters, invisible melee Zeds, huge dudes with chainsaw arms, screaming witches, and more. You'll quickly learn how to deal with all of them, but in numbers they're still tough. The final wave leads into a difficult boss fight. Bosses rip apart teams that don't work together or that have a poor team composition. One boss, the Patriarch, wields a minigun that shreds armor and health bars. Another boss fires off canisters of poisonous gas that can segment the battlefield. Unfortunately, those are the only 2 bosses in the game, and you'll soon get used to them. This doesn't turn them into easy prey though, and the fights are still fun every time. Still, more variety would have been nice. Killing Floor's other main mode, Versus Survival, is there for anyone who needs more competition. Players are split into 2 teams, Zeds and humans. For the humans, it's business as usual. For the Zeds, it depends on the creature you're assigned. Smaller monsters can feel underpowered, but playing as a bigger unit and wrecking everything is good for some laughs. Versus Survival absolutely feels like the secondary, less important mode though. It's fun, but until some of the weaker Zeds feel viable, I wouldn't recommend taking it too seriously. In a time when shooters are competing to have the most modes, the biggest campaign, the most guns, and generally the most stuff, along comes Killing Floor 2, totally unconcerned with running that race. For more on the Zed apocalypse, keep it right here on IGN.